Part 1. The First Encounter. It was late. Not the kind of late where the world is asleep, but the kind where you're still awake, staring at your screen, knowing something isn't adding up. The room was quiet. Too quiet. Just the glow of your phone lighting your face as you scroll. Same app, same pattern, same feeling. You've been moving, but not really moving. Not forward, not fast enough. Then it shows up. Not loud at first. Not forced, just there. A name. TURBOFROG Club. You almost scroll past it. Almost. But something about it feels a little different. So you tap it. The words hit you different. They actually hit you immediately. This isn't just a coin. It's a mindset. You pause, because that's not how most things talk to you. Most things usually just try to sell you. This feels like it's kind of calling out to you. You keep reading. A high energy, fast moving community built for those who refuse to stay stuck. You lean back slightly, because if you're being honest, that's exactly what you've been feeling. Stuck. Not broke, not lost, just not where you're supposed to be at right now. Your thumb stops moving. For the first time in a while, you're not just scrolling like you usually do, you're actually reading. We're a group of individuals pushing forward, leveling up, and accelerating through life together. You read that line twice. Because together hits different. Everything you've been doing lately, it's been a solo project. Figuring things out, trying to piece things together, watching others move faster while you're still trying to understand the game. Then this line lands. No gatekeeping, no limits, just forward motion. That's when something shifts. Not fully, but enough. You don't even realize that your posture changed. You're sitting up, more alert, more present. Why TurboFrog? Because frogs don't walk. They leap. You let out a small breath through your nose. Not a laugh, but close. Because it's simple, but it's real. Think about your last few months, all the steps you've been taking, careful moves, safe plays, waiting for the right time. And where did that get you? Nowhere close to where you want to be. This isn't about taking steps. This is talking about leaps. Then it gets deeper. What we stand for. Fast growth, positive energy, open community, collective momentum. You read each one slowly. Not because it's hard to understand, but because it feels like it's describing something that you've been missing. You've seen communities before, but most of them too closed off, too fake, too slow, too focused on hype with no real direction. This just doesn't feel like that. This actually feels like movement. Then you hit the mission. To create a fun, open space where anyone can plug in, build energy, move faster toward whatever they're chasing financially, mentally, or creatively. You stop. Because now, this ain't even just talking about money. It's about everything. You look away from your phone for a second just to think, because something inside of you is starting to connect the dots. This isn't just another thing to join. This feels like an actual moment. Then the final piece hits. Loud, motivated, supportive, a little chaotic, but always moving forward. You smile this time, because that chaos, that type of energy, and that type of unpredictability, that's where real movement happens. You glance back at the top, TurboFrog Club. For the first time all night, you're not just consuming something, you're considering something. Not just, is this interesting, but is this where I'm supposed to be right now? And that question, it doesn't just go away. Part 2. When it becomes personal. You put your phone down, not because you're done, but because you're thinking. Then it doesn't happen anymore. Most nights are on autopilot. Scroll, laugh, scroll, ignore, scroll, sleep, repeat. But this time, something actually stuck. You lean back, eyes on the ceiling, and without trying to, you start replaying your own life. The last few years, the moves you made, the ones you didn't, the chances you watched pass by because something just didn't feel right, or maybe because you just weren't ready. But that's the thing, when is anyone ever ready? You think about the people you've seen win, not the fake wins, the real ones, the ones that changed their situation. They didn't wait, they didn't hesitate, they moved fast. And here you are, still calculating, analyzing, trying to figure things out. Your phone lights up again. Same page, same words. TURBOFROG Club. You pick it up. But this time, you're not just reading it like content. You're reading it like, this actually might matter to me. Built for those who refuse to stay stuck. That line is starting to hit just a little bit harder now. Because it's not just a statement now. It's actually a mirror. You've been telling yourself you're moving, but deep down you know the truth. You've been feeling comfortable, too comfortable. Not in a good way, in a quiet way, a slow way, a way that doesn't look bad on the outside, but doesn't lead anywhere on the inside. And that's when it clicks. This isn't a coin. It's not even just about a community. It's about a decision. A decision to either stay where you are or finally move differently. You scroll back to the mission. Move faster toward whatever you're chasing, financially, mentally, creatively. You whisper it out loud this time. Faster. Because that's been the missing piece. Not effort, not ambition, not vision, speed. You've been trying to build momentum without actually accelerating, and now you're seeing it clearly. You don't need more information. You don't need another video. You don't need another perfect plan. You need to plug into something that's already moving. Something with energy, direction, people who are already pushing forward. That's when the word hits you again. Momentum. You've been trying to create that alone, and that's why it's been so hard to maintain. But what if you didn't have to? What if you could step into something that already has motion, speed, energy, direction? You sit forward now, elbows on your knees, phone in your hands, because now this isn't casual. This is starting to feel like perfect timing. The kind of timing that you just can't ignore. You think about where you want to be, financially, mentally, creatively, and then you think about where you are. There's a gap. A real one. And for the first time in a while, you're not looking for something to just entertain you. You're looking for something to change your position. You scroll back to the top again, slowly. TURBOFROG Club. It doesn't just feel like a name anymore. It's actually starting to feel almost like a door. And now the question isn't, is this interesting? It's, am I about to walk past something that I should actually be stepping into? You stare at the screen longer than before. Because now, it's not just about what this is, it's about what you do next. Part 3. The leap. You don't overthink it this time. That's actually the first thing that changes. Because normally, you would have opened another tab, checked another source, watched a few videos, asked a few people, even probably would have fact-checked it. But it would have just been delaying the inevitable. Something about this moment feels different. You look at the screen again, not as a visitor, not as someone just checking it out, but as someone standing right at the edge of a decision. Your thumb hovers for a second, just a second, and then you move. No announcement, no hesitation, no countdown, just action. The moment you step in, you feel it immediately. It's not quiet, not slow, not passive, it's alive. Messages moving, energy flowing, people talking like they're already in motion, not asking what is this, but saying what's next. That alone tells you something. You're not early to something that's empty. You're early to something that's already moving. And now you're a part of it. So a notification hits, then another, not noise, but movement. You start to see it unfold, assets being talked about, opportunities being positioned, people already thinking ahead. There's no confusion here, no waiting around. This is phase 1, and it's clear, phase 1 doesn't wait for people to catch up. You either move with it, or you watch it move without you. And now you're inside. You feel a small shift in your chest, not anxiety, not pressure, alignment. Like you just made a move you were supposed to make years ago. You start exploring, not randomly, but intentionally. You see how things connect, the assets, the marketplace, the positioning, and then it clicks deeper. This isn't just about getting in, it's about where you got in, because phase one, that's where positioning was built. You realize something most people miss. By the time the things actually look obvious, the real advantage is already gone. But right now, nothing about this is mainstream. Nothing about this is overrun, which means one thing: you're early enough for it to matter. Take a breath. Slow. Focus. Because now you understand the difference between watching opportunity and stepping into it. And you choose the second one. You start thinking ahead already. Not just what is this, but how do I maximize this opportunity? Then you notice something else. This system is not built for people who want to sit still. It's built for the people who want to move, adapt, position themselves early, understand timing, and now you're thinking like that without even trying. That's the shift. Not just what you joined, but how it's already changing how you think. You lean back again, same room, same phone, same night. But everything feels different because now you're not outside looking in. You're in position. Part 4. The wait. At first, everything feels smooth. You moved, you positioned, you tapped in early, and for a moment, it feels like you're actually ahead of the curve for the first time. Because you actually are. You made the move most people hesitate on. Then comes the part nobody talks about. The wait. It starts subtle. A few days go by, no issue. You're still locked in, still watching, still learning. A week passes. You check in. Everything still looks active. It's still moving. But now there's a thought, a small one. It's kind of quiet. Where's my package? You don't panic, not yet, because you understand something. Movement doesn't always mean instant delivery. Still, time keeps moving though. 2 weeks, 3. Now you're checking more often, not out of fear, but out of expectation. You remember exactly what you stepped into. You remember the energy, the structure, the system. So now your mind starts doing what it naturally does. It questions. Not aggressively, not emotionally, just enough to create pressure. Did I move too fast? Was I supposed to wait? Is this one of those situations again? That's the moment where most people are gonna fold. They disconnect, they assume, they walk away before the outcome even showed up. But you don't. Because you didn't step in this blindly. You paid attention. You remember something clearly. There was a system, a pipeline, a structure. Nothing random. So instead of reacting, you move correctly. You follow the steps. You tap in the right way. And that's when things shift again. Not instantly, but clearly. You get the response. It's not automated. It's not vague. It's actually a very direct response. And you see it. Your order was processed. You're still in position. You're still receiving everything you were promised. And then it clicks. This isn't failure. This is that timing. A real system moving in real time. Not rushed, not sloppy, structured. Then it happens. The delivery. Everything you expected, it shows up. The assets, the access, the positioning. Everything. And I mean everything. How it was described. No missing pieces, no shortcuts. Complete. And just like that, the tension disappears. But something is now in place of it. Something that's actually much, much stronger. Trust. Because now you've experienced both sides. The excitement of entering and the reality of waiting. And the system held up through both. Then comes the part you actually didn't expect. Not just fulfillment, but compensation. You realize this wasn't ignored. This wasn't even brushed off. And it was accounted for. You're not just another transaction. You're part of a system, a family that actually tracks time, process, experience. And instead of losing value, you gain something from the delay. That's when your mindset shifts all again. Because now you understand something deeper. This isn't built for people who panic. It's built for the people who understand the process, respect timing, and they'll stay positioned no matter what. And those people, they can never lose. They benefit differently from life. You sit there for a second, looking at everything you now have, and you think back to that exact moment when you almost said no, when you almost didn't move. If you would have reacted early, if you would have walked away or even assumed the worst, you would have missed all of this. But you didn't. You stayed and followed through. You trusted the structure and the process. And it paid off. Part 5. The test. Let's be real. Not everyone is going to react the way that you just did. There's another version of this story, another version of you, same moment, same delay, same question, same everything, but this version of you ain't going for it. They just ain't going for it. They just ain't gonna fall for it. They don't feel it. They react fast, emotional. You can almost see it happen. Phone in hand, frustration building, their patience is just getting thinner and thinner. Nah, I ain't waiting on this. I want my money back. Cancel it. Just feels justified in that moment. It always does. So they reach out straight to the point. I want a refund. Now everything pauses because this is where the system gets tested. Not when things go right, but when someone decides to pull out. And instead of chaos, there's clarity. The response comes back. Definitely not defensive nor dismissive. Just real. They explain it clearly. The transaction has already been processed, the system has already moved forward, the funds have already been placed into the designated structure. And most importantly, there are no refunds on token-based transactions. At first, it hits. Not in a bad way, just in a real way. Because now you're faced with something that most people avoid, which is accountability. Not punishment, not laws, just the reality of how the system works. And then it makes sense. This isn't a regular purchase. This isn't a store you walk in and out of. This is blockchain based. Once it moves, it moves. No reverse button, no uno, no undo. And if they really think about it, they remember. The instructions were there. They were clear. Everything was laid out. So now they're standing at a crossroads. Stay frustrated or understand the system they stepped into, and then something shifts because they realize something very, very important. They didn't lose anything yet, actually at all, because the order is still active, the assets are still coming, the position is still theirs. Nothing disappeared. They just tried to exit too early, and then it finally clicks. This wasn't a situation where they needed to cancel. This was a situation where they needed to learn how to stay positioned. Because just like you, if they had waited, if they had followed through, they would have experienced the same outcome, full delivery, full access, full value, and possibly even more because of the delay compensation. Now the emotion fades, logic takes over, and instead of feeling like they got stuck, they realize they were way too close to the outcome to walk away. That's the lesson. Not everything that feels uncertain is wrong. Not every delay is failure. Some moments are just a test of patience, understanding, positioning. And the people who pass those tests, they don't just get results, they get experience. And that experience, that's what separates the one who moves early from the ones who move right. You sit back looking at everything from the first moment you saw it till now, and you realize something very, very simple. This wasn't a lucky opportunity. This definitely wasn't random. This was a moment that was meant for me, and you chose to step into it the right way. TurboFrog Club isn't just something that you join. It's something that you're gonna move with. Some people just watch. Some people gonna always hesitate, and it's a lot that's gonna walk away early. But for those who stay, you who understands, you the one who moves when it matters, you positioned yourself for everything that's about to come next for you. And this was just phase 1.